So welcome back to Worthington Model Railway. One of those jobs that I've been wanting to do for a long time and don't get round to it is reinstalling these point motors. So let's look at that. So you'll remember, probably about 18 months ago, maybe longer, 2 years ago even, I extended the layout and I added this whole section at this end. Those of you who follow me on a regular basis will probably remember doing that. When I did that, I took out a series of Tortoise motors that were used for a number of points. Keep meaning to get them reinstalled. I did start on that process about 6 weeks ago and realized I didn't have enough cable to extend the bus. Obviously the bus used to just sort of go across from here to over here. Now it's got to go all the way around the end of the layout. So that's the first thing I have to do is get that done. And I ordered some cables from Amazon. They came in the mail the other day, and so I'm going to get that done first. And then once I have that bus in place, then I can start to talk about the point motors. Anyway, not much to see there apart from me running a cable. And once I get that done, then we'll talk more about installing the point motors. So having run the 12-volt bus wire through and connected it up to what was the original bus wire here, if you look over there, I have a board. It's kind of a temporary board. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm looking at, with some switches on it that powered the points on this side. Now I want to change that board out and put a more permanent board in there, maybe with some LEDs, so we can actually see what's going on with the points. But I want to make sure first of all that these still work. So let's see what happens. So here you can see the relevant points, and I change the switches. Hopefully something will move. Yep. So that's good. Hopefully you saw those points move. So that piece is good. Now I need to install the Tortoise motors in the other side of the three-way points going into the fiddle yard. I'll throw a link to earlier videos talking about Tortoise point motors, installing them, how it works, etc. But I always solder these cables on first. I don't want to have to try to solder them upside down under the layout. So this way I can just use connectors on the ends of the cables, and that way it's a lot easier to do things. So just a reminder here of how these work. The black and the red, the two outside ones, are the power that will move it back and forth. I'll show that in a second. And then this is the track power in, left and right, and then this is the frog juicer that comes out. So really fairly simple to put together. Ends up with a sort of rat's nest of wiring, but it works. So the next set of I want to do with these here, and because it's a triple point, it's got 2 throws, so I have to put one point motor this way and one that way. Unfortunately, when I just went and looked underneath, I have a beam right across there, which I didn't realize at the time. So the question is, do I try to cut out the beam, or do I try to move the points? I'm going to kind of look at this and decide what I want to do. But that's going to slow me down considerably in getting these installed. So I was able to get the Tortoise point motors back to back in on the back 3-way point there, 3-way turnout, and that's working quite happily. I'll show you underneath in a second. It's a bit of a mess of wires, but they're pretty close together. Anyway, as you can see, I made up a little panel here with my switches on and telling me what. So this one is for the bottom point, the top meaning it's gone to the top track, bottom is the bottom track. This one, top track is up, up, middle is up, down, and bottom is down, up. So right now I want to send something to the top track, so I'm going to go up, up. So move that up. You might hear the point motor move in the background, and let's run the locomotive and see that it goes on the right. So there you can see the bottom of those 2 Tortoise point motors. As I said, they're back to back because that's the only way you can really fit them into the space where you've got those double throw points. Sort of try to show my problem here in terms of that beam that I need to cut back. I did try drilling it out. I've got to think it through a little better to cut out a chunk of that beam so I can get those 2 motors in there. As you see, the beam kind of goes all the way along, so moving the points is not really going to help. I'd have a difficult time moving them more over here because of this curve is bad enough as it comes in anyway. So we'll get on with that. Another job for another day. Well, more through brute force than anything, using a drill and a chisel and some other bits and pieces of tooling, I managed to get enough cut away to get the point motors in. I've got one in, I'm about to put the second one in, so I should get this finished up today. So this one is now done too. Let's run a loco through. Jobbed. Thanks for watching. Having those points with motors and switches is going to make it much easier for me to be able to get rolling stock in and out of the fiddle yard there. I do have another 2 or 3 point motors I need to reinstall as well in other places. I'll get those done over the next few days. It's basically the same process. And as I say, if you want more detail about installing these point motors, there are at least 2, maybe 3 other videos out there on how I've done it in the past, which goes into a lot more of the detail. Just thought I'd keep you updated with what I'm doing on the layout. There's a button to the top right to subscribe, and there'll be another video to the top left.